Hi, this is Andy Thayer with Graystack Media, and today we have the distinct honor of talking to two Cuban diplomats, Adrián Heredia, who's the second secretary with the Cuban Embassy in Washington, D.C., and Tanieris Diéguez, Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of Cuba to the United States, who is our ambassador. I think it's important for our viewers to know that this is a rare opportunity to hear the other side to what the United States says. That for every time the United States threatens war or goes to a war, whoever's the president will get 20 minutes every single minute that representatives of the government, which is on the receiving end of United States aggression, receive. We're going to try and redress that balance here today with our two guests. So it must be very strange to be on the receiving end of U.S. threats right now, and I might say military threats that are probably the most severe since the so-called, what we call in this country, Cuban Missile Crisis. How does it feel to be interacting with people in the United States knowing this severe threat that is facing your nation?
Well, first of all, the first argument to this kind of threat that you are mentioned is that Cuba is a threat to the United States. And this is not like that. I mean, Cuba is not represent any threat to the United States. We are a peaceful country. We are a country of peace. Our people want to live in peace, and we have been shown this for decades. We are a country that has been contribute a lot to the different ways around the world, in particular in health, in education, bringing doctors, bringing teachers to different countries, and help people most in need around the world. And this is what we have been doing for more than 60 years, despite the unilateral measures against our country. It's very unfair and it's very cruel to damage like that to the Cuban people, in particular with this situation of surge oil that we present since January 29 for the executive order, and that create a big situation in humanitarian area in Cuba.
Ambassador, could you tell us the effects that the United States threat of war, the blockade of oil shipments to your country, what effect has that had on the Cuban people?
This order has been very cruel, has been like a collective punishment to the Cuban people, and the Cuban people is suffering a lot in different areas. I can explain more after. But in particular, this issue of oil that you are mentioned has created big damage in main sector of Cuba. For example, our country is very well known because the very important and very good health system, and this has been damaged a lot with the oil surge, because, for example, the energy is necessary to maintain the hospital, to give the service to the population. There is more than 96,000 people waiting for surgeries in Cuba because we don't have enough oil to give electricity to the hospital.
So people waiting for surgery because there is lack of electricity.
Exactly. It's very hard to see how the nurses need to hug the babies because they know that they are going to suffer when the energy down. I mean, the babies that are some problems when they born, and there is more than 32,000 pregnancy people waiting for different kind of treatment. People with cancer, the hope of life of children with cancer in Cuba has been decreased because of that, because we don't have enough energy to produce the vaccines, the medicine that they need, and to give them the correct treatment, because we don't have energy for that. The people that need dialysis for life, it's very cruel to see that, and don't imagine, because I am a mother, how I can explain to a mother that the children cannot have a surgeries because there is not energy in the country. It's cruel. It's cruel.
The Second Secretary, Adrián, could you tell us, when President Trump says that Cuba is a threat to the United States, what goes through your mind about those statements?
I mean, for us, it's like it's the opposite of that. I mean, Cuba has been a reliable partner of the United States regarding avoiding human trafficking, avoiding migration, illegal migration from the U.S., avoiding drug trafficking, arms smuggling to the U.S. So Cuba has been cooperating with the U.S. in many issues, and the United States agencies actually know that, and actually are the ones saying that Cuba has been a reliable partner of the U.S. in application of law. So when they are saying that Cuba is a threat, it's more like trying to construct a consensus regarding some actions against Cuba. It's trying to justify some actions, unilateral and coercive measures against our country are cannot be explained in other way. So we are definitely not a threat, but they need to say that in order to justify what they are doing to.
So politicians in this country, particularly Marco Rubio, former senator now in the Trump administration, have been attempting to get people, especially the Cuban American community, on board for a war against Cuba. What would you say to those people about their signing on to war against Cuba?
I'm not going to refer to anyone in particular. I am a diplomat. I'm very respectful of Vienna Convention. But what can I say is about what Cuba has been doing to approach to the Cuban community here in the United States, in particular because we have been taking measures during the last few months, to open our economy, to do things to approach to the Cuban resident abroad in general, not only here in the United States, to open our economy to investment, to create initiatives and projects to move forward and to overcome this situation, because this is what we are doing during more than 60 years. I explained that to the people because, we are a creative people, we are a happy people, we are people that don't going to stop even when the circumstances are very hard, but we are going to continue looking for different ways to move forward, to overcome this very hard situation that we have, and to continue. But we are not going to surrender in any ways. We are a people that always going to work for doing better, for doing better for our own people, for our own families, and for doing better for our own society. At the final, we have built during more than 60 years a society that have main values as solidarity, as love in life. That this is important to take care of others. It's important for us, and to keep these principles in the working and in the function of the society is very important for us. And this is the way that we find to continue. We are trying to move to the renewable energies. We are trying to improve to use our own oil that we produce in our own infrastructure. We are doing things that our president explained just today, different measures that we are taking in the economy to open the economy, to move forward, but never going to surrender. We always going to defend our sovereignty, because we consider that we have right to do that. We are an independent country. We are in position to speak about anything with the United States government and with other governments, as we are doing for many years with different governments around the world. We will have diplomatic relations with almost all the countries around the world. But the only thing that we ask is the normal rule to move forward in any conversation, to have relations with others, is respect. Respect to our sovereignty and respect to our constitutional order. We don't say to any other government around the world how they need to manage their constitutional order.
Okay.
Nobody has the right to say that to Cuba. And this is the only rules that we ask. Respect to our independence. Respect each other, and we can speak about anything. No issue forbidden for speak with anyone around the world.
We are willing to talk with the U.S. about the relation that we could have. We are just asking to let the politics in Cuba in the hands of the Cuban people. So the Cuban people is the one actually who can take the decision of what is the country that they want to live in. So we are the same that we are asking for us is the same we are probing to the U.S. We are not asking to the U.S. to change their policy to anyone, but we are asking to get into the internal policy of Cuba. That's what the deputy chief of the mission was saying about respecting our sovereignty, respecting our self-determination, and the willing of Cuba to talk, the willing of Cuba to engage in serious conversation, and the willing of Cuba to show to the world we are a peaceful country. We are not asking for any kind of aggression. We are actually the one promoting the zone of peace in the Latin America and the Caribbean in the CELAC summit. So we are the one promoting to peace, not only for Cuba, but the whole Latin America. So saying that Cuba is a threat or saying that Cuba have to change, okay, we are able to talk, but that's not a condition to make a relation with the U.S.
And this last question is for both of you, whichever you wants to go first. And that is, the United States has attacked Venezuela, abducted its president, killed 100 people, and in the view, at least of the United States government, that was a so-called success. In Iran, the United States has gotten bitter resistance from a people that had a dictatorship imposed on them in 1953 and have been very successfully stopping the United States from imposing its will. When the Bay of Pigs happened in 1962, the Cuban people successfully defeated the United States. That was many decades ago. How do you feel if the United States attacks, Cuba will fare?
The thing is that it will be a huge mistake to think that the people in Cuba is not going to defend their country. When the people say attacking Cuba and they start comparing military capabilities, it's not about that. I mean, the people in Cuba is not willing to fight. The people in Cuba is not willing to make a war, an aggression war, but is willing to defend their country. If it's the same if your house is attacked. Maybe you are not the more prepared one, but you are going to defend your house with everything you have. And Cuba is being prepared for this kind of aggression for many years. So that's something that we want to avoid. We are going to do everything in our hands to avoid that case scenario, but we are going to be prepared if that's the situation.
Yes, Ambassador. I mean, we don't want war. The principal message is that the Cuban people and the government of Cuba don't want a war. We are a peaceful country. We are a country of peace. We have been named as capital of peace because we work very close, for example, in the Dialogue of Peace of Colombia. We have hosted the meeting with Pope and the leader of the Orthodox Church. I mean, we have been improved and we have been work a lot, the Cuban people, for peace around the world. We don't want a war with the United States, but if we receive an invasion from the United States, we are going to defend our sovereignty as any country should does. I mean, it's the normal way to proceed. In that cases, we want to do everything that we are in our hands to avoid, any military action, any wars against Cuba. But are people going to defend the sovereignty and the independence that we have? Because we have a history. We have a history to defend, and we have a revolution to defend. We have a history that not permit to forget I mean, what is the cost of being independence? And well, we never going to surrender in this way to defend our independence, because we consider that our people has the right to defend their independence and to live in peace. As Adrián said, we are very, happy people. We are a people that, for us, it's very easy to give to others, to the people in need, the things that we have. We have principle of solidarity. We want that the common sense in all this scenario prevail, and we hope that the common sense prevail. But in any case, we have the right to defend ourselves. Mm-hmm. We are not going to attack anyone, and we are not going to invade anyone. We are not going to promote any military action against any country around the world, but we are going to defend ourselves because it's our right.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you
so much for your time, Second Secretary, and I too hope that peace prevails and the threats the United States is making against your country are ended.
We are a border in common. We are things that we can build together as neighbors, but should be under the basis of respect and under the basis of the normal rules to promote the conversation and to have a good relation between both countries.
Whatever your characterization of the Cuban government, one thing should be clear. The history of the United States since it became the world's dominant power is that whenever it bombs or invades, it's the working people of the target country who pay the highest price. Sovereignty is smashed, self-determination is smashed, and a neo-colonial setup is instituted. Besides the killed and wounded, the receiving nation's economic and social progress is set back enormously. The United States clearly does not care about democracy. It cares about subservience from other nations. I have my own personal thoughts about the Cuban government and the revolution that threw off the brutal U.S.-supported dictatorship that preceded it. But in the context of the U.S. threatening to invade or bomb yet another country, those views are irrelevant. The big question is, will the most rogue nation on the planet, the nation which at one time or another has bombed, invaded, or installed brutal dictators in the overwhelming majority of the nations on the planet, will it be allowed to get away with those crimes once again? Will we live in a multilateral world where the U.S. is no longer allowed a free hand to bully other nations with economic and military threats? Well, time will tell. This is Andy Thayer for Gracestack Media.